Hi, welcome. I wanted to do another one of these channel update, year in review sorts of things. I guess this is a regular fixture on my channel now. It's not quite the end of the year, but it's close enough. I think my game lineup is stable through the end of the year. None of what I'm doing right now is going to end in the next couple of weeks. So let's talk about some stuff. So I've had a number of important life events this year, and I haven't talked about all of them here. First thing I should probably address is this is what I look like now. I used to wear glasses. I still have these frames around. There's not any lenses in them so that I can actually see in my new condition because back in May, I actually got surgery. So I had LASIK treatment on both eyes. This was a personal thing I didn't feel like talking about in public back then. I did my best to schedule around it, and for the most part, nobody would have known any difference. There was definitely a recovery period. I had to be careful with scheduling and things, and I had a period of time where it was real hard to see anything as my eyes were recovering from the surgery. But now I see better than I've ever seen with glasses, so it's pretty great. One of the things I wanted most out of this was to be able to... Basically what happened over time with me was my prescription kept getting stronger, and I put on a new pair of glasses after a prescription update, and everything in the world would be a little bit smaller because I was nearsighted, and stronger prescriptions mean the way the light gets focused just makes everything get smaller through the lenses. And I was actually starting to have trouble seeing things farther away just because they were smaller from my point of view. I guess another possible fix for that would be contact lenses, but I didn't want to do those for various reasons. I just thought, let's get the surgery, get it done, and then I don't have to wear anything. And it's great. I'm real happy with the result. So that was great. A little later in the year, I released a video game for the first time in a while. So I did a game jam on a whim and spent a week working really hard on this thing called Throw Rock, which I've talked about quite a bit here. I did a very in-depth post-mortem going over all the stuff that went into that game. So I'm sure you know all about it already. But I'll link to it in the description again anyway, because I'm real proud of what I made. So as far as Let's Plays went, I had some real strong lineups this year, I feel like. It's going to be hard to top having Tunic, Bean and Nothingness, Patrick's Parabox, Super Lumi Live, and Chrono Trigger all happening at the same time. Like during that period, just like all 5 slots that I have, counting the stream slot, I just felt like were games that I really loved and was enjoying greatly. So that was real nice. There were a lot of big, long ones happening. A lot of stuff that demanded multi-hour recording sessions and just a whole lot of effort on my part. And video runtimes kind of got out of control sometimes, I'm aware, but I just kind of did what was necessary for the games. Sometimes I just had to put up super long episodes for what was going on. So, but I'm kind of shooting for a shorter format now. You might have noticed video runtimes in general have maybe gotten shorter toward the end of the year. So just, I don't know, just small adjustments I'm making, looking for a comfortable medium. But, it's always a case-by-case basis. It depends what the game needs, what I do for it. Anyway, there was a funny little incident in the middle of the year where I was playing King's Field 3, and just out of nowhere, I have some guesses as to why this might have happened, but basically out of the blue, YouTube decided to start showing episodes just sort of in the middle of that LP to a huge number of people, and I got a very large influx of viewers on a few of those just right in the middle of the LP. And that was a pretty positive experience. I've worried at times about getting a sudden large burst of exposure and possible negative effects from that. But this was actually good. Pretty much everybody who came in from that, just who was exposed to me for the first time from that happening, seemed pretty nice and positive about what was going on. So my guess is maybe it's because this is a From Software game And Elden Ring came out earlier this year, and it was right around then, so maybe some kind of algorithm decided, this is another From Software game, let's push these videos because Elden Ring is hot right now, something. That was my best guess, but anyway, that was fun. Doesn't seem like a whole lot of those people stuck around based on the numbers that I have now, but maybe some of them have. Anyway, other highlights, Thumper was a whole lot of fun. Like, I didn't expect it to be as... it sort of caught me off guard just how much I got into it and how much fun that LP was for me. So if that was one you skipped, maybe it's worth a look. Being in Nothingness, I guess I already mentioned, but that was a immaculately crafted puzzle game that I enjoyed a whole lot. No Anglerfish was another big highlight. I was just really impressed with everything that game did, and it's just something that's going to stick with me for a good long time, definitely. Yeah, hard to express just how special that game was, but if you watch it, I think you'll see what it is. And I had a lot of fun getting into the Doom series for not the first time, but I was basically learning that from scratch because while I had played a little bit of Doom many years ago, I'd never really... It had been a long time, and I never really knew the Doom games all that well, so I'm still in the process of kind of doing a deep dive into official classic Doom games and learning my way around them and learning to play in that environment. So that's been fun, and that is ongoing. So I have Final Doom, and there's at least one more after that I'm going to be doing, and don't know about Modern Dooms. I don't... if I try to plan that far ahead, plans always change, so... anyway, so just kind of living in the present here and enjoying what I'm doing with that. So one more big thing that I want to mention that just happened, was it just a week ago now? Like a week and a half at this point. I ended up leaving my day job. So I've never liked to talk about work very much on this channel. But those who have paid attention know that I've had a programming job for most of the duration of my Let's Playing. I don't like to use the word career, but I guess it's appropriate here. Most of the duration that I've been uploading Let's Play videos to YouTube. And currently I don't. So I won't get into the whole situation, but long story short, there was a merger, and the company that resulted from the merger was definitely not the company that I had started working for, and situation just sort of got untenable, and I decided I'd be better off just leaving and doing my own thing. So, I'm not as prepared to talk about this as I thought, apparently. Money's a weird thing. I'm in a pretty good place right now where... Okay, so let's go back in time a little bit. I've only had a few jobs over my lifetime. I guess I tend to find one thing and stick with it as long as I reasonably can. And then when that runs out for some reason, or, I guess, yeah, every time the situation has just gotten untenable and I've had to leave and seek something else. But yeah, that's resulted in long tenure at most of the companies that I've worked for. Always doing programming of various types. I was doing some fun graphics programming at this most recent job, but all those projects got canceled, and the stuff I would have been doing was a lot less interesting. So anyway, I know I have a weird relationship with money sometimes. So here's a thing. I would have the option of enabling ads on YouTube videos and doing other things to try to turn this thing that I'm doing here into a source of income. I've always opted not to do that because, one, I have objections on principle grounds to advertising, and two, when I had a stable source of income that didn't have anything to do with what I was doing on this channel, I wasn't really comfortable accepting money for this just as a secondary thing. I should have been, but for some reason I wasn't. But I'm in a situation right now where I have enough in the bank to coast for a while, without necessarily needing another job. I've been through this a couple of times before, where between jobs I'll try and make something work on my own, and both of those times I've just ended up getting another job somewhere. Maybe that's how this will go. But I think I'm positioned pretty well to try and do my own thing and see if I can start on something that will let me support myself via alternative means. An obvious one would be by selling video games, because again, I released a game this year, and that was highly enjoyable. It's something I've been working toward my whole life, being releasing video games on the regular as a thing that I do that is my main way of supporting myself. I'm not there now, but I think I'm getting a lot closer. So one thing I want to do is to push forward really hard to make another game, or, a couple of them if I can. I'm imagining like a few smaller games might be better than like putting all my eggs into one basket and, spending like a year of my life working extremely hard on this one big release and then putting it out and having it flop and then having to scramble for something else. I want to hedge my bets a little more and try some smaller stuff, try to build things up more organically. I don't know. I'm still making plans for how I'm going to do that. But another thing, I have launched a Patreon campaign for my YouTube channel, and there's a link to it in the video description. If you would like to and have the means to support me with some sort of contribution to that, there is now a way to do that. I've decided that I'm okay with accepting money for this. I'm in a situation where I think it makes sense. I have some perks set up for patrons if you give me some backing, your support, then there's a private Discord server that I have set up where I'll be hanging out. So you could sort of think of that as a cozy little, kind of like a secondary comments section, but a lot more tight-knit. Get easier access to me, ask me questions, talk to me about stuff, recommend games. Stuff you can do in the comments section right now, but maybe it'll be a little nicer in a different little tighter-knit community. I don't know. It's 0 members right now. Well, 1, me, right now. So I can't predict how that will develop, but it's there. It's ready. And I also have a poll for the game that will go in the final Doom slot that a Patreon membership will give you voting access to. So if you want to say in that, then this is a way you can have it. And I got a lot of other ideas about stuff I want to do with this, but I'm kind of starting small, figuring this out as I go along. So yeah, if you have been waiting for an opportunity to contribute some money to what I'm doing, this is a way that you can help me keep existing and keep doing what I'm doing. It's totally optional. If not, I'll still be here as best I can, assuming I can be. But yeah, it's if you want to go a little extra distance and be a super awesome person, then I have created an opportunity for a way you can do that to me now. Anyway, so that's the stuff that I had to say. Looking forward to another year of mostly the same stuff, hopefully, and lots of exciting new things. I'll talk more about this game project that I want to be doing once it's a little farther along. I have basically like a pool of ideas that I'm curating now. I haven't even settled on one specific game that I'm writing, but gonna do something, definitely. And I have the time to spend on it now that I don't have a day job taking up my hours during the day. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff for the future, I hope. And I'll see you then and see what happens.